What would you feel like if I tell you that dire wolves, like a legendary creature from Ice Age, is back to live in with us on the same earth, like the same time, 2025? An animal that went extinct over 13,000 years ago has been brought back to life and is now living among us. Is this a science fiction movie or is it really happening? I am in the middle of I'm a little excited, a little bit scared. I have a lot of questions, but let's start answering them one by one. Hi everyone, and welcome back to yet a new YouTube video on my channel. And today we are talking about dire wolves and how they have been brought back from going extinct after 13,000 years by scientists. In case you did not know this, dire wolves are some sort of wolves, but they are 25% bigger than the gray wolves that we know. They are so much stronger, their bones are stronger, their jaw and teeth could simply and easily crush bones of other predators. Like, how crazy is that? And I think they're also bigger. I mentioned that they weight around 150 pounds. How much is 150 pounds? 70 kgs, right? And they have been brought back to life. There are 3 pups of dire wolf living among us today, and I think they're about 6-7 months old. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but first of all, how? Well, it was not easy. It went through a long process. So I'm not gonna bore you, but everything started in 2021 when scientists found a DNA on an ancient bone that belongs to a dire wolf. And they started studying that DNA. Simply, they found a DNA, they're studying the DNA. Why are they studying the DNA? Because they are scientists. That's sort of like what they do. Cool. Okay. So they study in the DNA and then they realize, boom, dire wolves are not really wolves. So if you think that this is a gray wolf, this is a dire wolf, you're gonna look at them and think, oh, brothers. No, they're more like far, far away cousins. Female or male from dire wolves or female or male from the gray wolves. Or did I switch? Sorry about that. They can't, what was the word? They can't, I mean, you know, right? They just can't. They cannot reproduce. That's such a weird word. I'm gonna give you an example, a simple one. Let's say there's some kind of dog, a female, and another type of dog, a male. They're most likely they can reproduce, right? But here's the trick. Dire wolves and gray wolves cannot reproduce. So they are sort of like two different. First thing, dire wolves are not wolves. When I say dire wolves are not wolves, what I mean is they are not the wolves that we know as people who are living 2025. Dire wolves are not something we know. They are not simple wolves. They're different. So let's go back to the DNA that the scientists were studying. They started comparing it to the gray wolf's DNA and also dog's DNA. And they noticed how different it is and how special it was, because these animals, I'm telling you, they're bigger, they're stronger, they're different. So the scientists, after studying the DNA, they decided to edit the genes. They used a gene editing tool that I'm gonna call CRISPR. I'm not sure if that's the scientific name or the way it's pronounced. So to make it easy, a CRISPR's job is to sort of like spin and swap genes, right? So they have DNA of a wolf, a DNA of a dog, and some sort of a DNA of a dire wolf. This DNA of a dire wolf, it's the real deal. It was on a bone. It's real, right? But now they need to modify the DNA of whether a dog or a wolf so that they can be as close as possible to the dire wolf's DNA that they found. They had to change the fur color, the bone shaping and sizes, and a lot of different things. And the result, we got these 3 pups. Dire wolf pups, which is crazy, right? The question is, are these three pups the real deal? Like, are they really dire wolves? Technically speaking, like, they're not. They are as close as possible to a dire wolf. They're like a copy. I don't want to call them copy. They're too cute to be called a copy. No animal should be called a copy. I'm sorry, but I take that back. But they're not real dire wolves. They're probably, I'm gonna say, a total different species that human beings created. But yeah, the scientists, they don't really want to believe that. They believe they brought back an animal that went extinct over 13,000 years ago. And I mean, if they worked so hard for it and believing it floats their boat, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you go ahead and believe that. But the facts say that no, you didn't really bring direwolves back, you created something similar. Well, good for you, right? Now, after this happened, me and you, normal human beings, maybe you're like me and asking this question, why? You did not ask why? You're weird. Why did we bring back an animal that went extinct over 13,000 years ago? By the way, I find the word extinct super hard to pronounce. I don't know why. I hope I'm saying it right. But like, why are we bringing them back? What's the purpose? I'm asking the scientists and they're gonna answer, and let me read some of the answers they gave. To study Ice Age predators up close. Do we really need to study Ice Age predators up close? We're no longer in Ice Age. Like, what's the purpose of this? Okay, convincing, good argument. That trend approved.
Approved. Approved.
To explore ways to bring back more extinct species. That's not really an answer, is it? What? You're telling me you did this just so that you can learn how to bring more animals, but I'm asking you, why are you bringing more extinct animals? To help the ecosystems that lost large animals long ago. You know, by like bringing them back. Does the ecosystem really need this? I'm not sure. And the worrying thing is that this animal is not the same as direwolf. Maybe they'll struggle to fit in. Maybe they live in a completely different environment and the scientists don't even know what kind of environment these animals should be raised in, right? They're just assuming and trying their best to make them adapt and change the environment, if anything. But it's scary and worrying for these animals. What if they don't really adapt? I mean, for now, I believe they're still out there and healthy. They're about 67 months old, but it's still worrying. Without thinking, they're already planning to bring back mammoth, and the experiment started. I think they started experimenting on mice who gave birth to these little mice with some sort of like mammoth DNA. How are we feeling about this? So honestly, I just feel like something is wrong. I'm not sure. Please tell me your opinion. What do you think about all of this? Do you want to see more animals that went extinct thousands of years ago come back to life? Or do you think that these sort of budgets should be put into something more important? You know, people are going through a lot nowadays. Not just that, maybe just health in general, maybe curing some illnesses that has never been cured, or maybe we just don't want them to be cured. It's complicated. It's very complicated. Honestly, inside me something's telling me this is not right, but I'm not sure. You tell me in the comments below. What do you think? Do you want to meet a dire wolf, or do you just want these experiments to stop? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching this video till the very end. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. Yeah, I know I'm still experimenting content. Just to let you know, I filmed this video about like 3-4 weeks ago, but I lost the file and I was literally gonna cry. I had the audio ready. the thumbnail ready, and I was like, where's my file? And I couldn't find it and I couldn't edit it. So it took me a while to just make up my mind and decide, oh, I really have to actually redo that video, because it was interesting to me when I read it on an article, and I was like, what do you mean they brought an animal that went extinct thousands of years ago? Interesting. It is interesting subject, but at the same time, is it right? Is it something we should be excited for or scared of? Yeah, exactly. You don't know. You know nothing. Anyways, for you who know, please comment below. Let me know. Your opinion matters to me. And also subscribe, because I'm trying to reach 100 million subscribers by the end of today. We're running out of time. What was that accent just now? Thank you guys for watching this video. I love you so much, and bye.